Hi everyone, welcome back to the Geterbrewed channel. Today we're in our brewery and we're going to talk about yeast substitution. Why should you try AEB brewing yeast in your brewery? So we're really excited about it because it brings great value and a premium quality product. It's got an extensive range of different strains. It's got some really unique and innovative strains that are just designed specifically for AEB, and a whole portfolio of new strains that we haven't seen before, like low and no alcohol yeasts, and generally just nice products, good support with good quality control that you can trust and consistently make great beer. I'm joined by Andres, technical lead from AEB. He's a master brewer. You'll have seen him in our series of videos in relation to yeast. And today we're going to look at yeast substitution and how you approach that. So if you're new to AEB, you've never heard of them before, what are the technical considerations that the brewer should be taking into consideration before moving from their current brand to the AEB brand of yeast?
Absolutely. Well, there are two considerations, I would say. First is that they need to check, the fermentation profile, of the particular strain they want to deal with, and obviously the most important is the flavor.
Yeah.
Right. So as a brewer, one easy way to do it is just to do a rapid fermentation test.
Okay.
Which basically you can use the first wort, of your production, and bring it to the lab in a flask, and then overpitch the sample with, in this case, the AEB yeast.
Yeah.
And to leave it, ferment, like 48 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you come back and then you just filter it, the sample, and then you check the alcohol, the ABV, the final gravity, and so you can, know what is the attenuation of the yeast strain according to the composition of your wort and the alcohol tolerance as well. They can give you some information. I know it's a very easy way to do it, but they give you a lot of information. And then the flavor. Okay. So with the flavor, what I suggest is that, from your commercial batch, or as I call your mother batch, you can split it in two, some of the wort into, if you have a pilot brewery, in a pilot, fermentation vessel. Yeah. And then you just pitch it and then use the AEB yeast. And then you compare, the flavor from your pilot batch and your commercial batch. Yeah. In the case that the brewer doesn't have a pilot brewery, you can always do it, in some fermentation, in a home brewing fermentation vessel. So they give you some idea, so you compare it and how close is the flavor profile. But that's a way to do it.
So you had mentioned there, taking a sample, first running sample. Is there a particular volume that works? Is it just an Erlenmeyer flask, say, for 1 liter?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, it can be on a liter. It's just, of course, you can always do it in a pilot, fermentation vessel, or in a bucket in home brewing, way. But the easiest way, you just take a flask, as you say, 1 liter, over pitch. There's not a specific amount to pitch.
And are you checking the gravity before you pitch, obviously, so that you can monitor?
Yeah. You need, exactly. So you know your original gravity, and then you just check your final gravity, so you can calculate what the attenuation of the yeast was. Yeah. And also you check your ABV, so you can check the alcohol tolerance, and of course you can smell it, and to do some general sensory assessment, of the sample. Yeah.
The guys watching this, home brewers, commercial brewers, AEB in the UK and Ireland, it's fair to say, wouldn't be really well known to them at this stage. But to give them some confidence, AEB, the actual group, has been, pioneering and experts in the wine industry since the early 60s. They've been moved into the brewing section for beer over a decade ago.
That's right.
So for us, it's really important that we get this information out, that you can trust the brand because they're using their industry expertise from winemaking, that they have master and technical brewers like yourself and Kamini that can provide assistance should they require it, that the products are quality checked, the quality control checks are there, that there's certificate of analysis, there's, they can have confidence in the brand. So the one thing that I want to try and get across to the brewers is how they approach transferring from one yeast to the other. So you've covered, doing a forced fermentation, a side-by-side comparison and a pilot batch. Is there anything else that they should be taking into consideration when they're making that decision for, okay, I'll try replacing this yeast with what I'm currently using?
That's right. Well, first of all, I need to clarify, that AEB, as you mentioned, it has its own, quality and R&D, laboratories.
Yeah.
And also we collaborate with different, universities in Europe and overseas, doing not just R&D but also, quality control and And so the considerations, say, well, we guarantee, the microbiological quality of the products, so the brewers should feel safe about, and the same with the viability of the yeast. And so I would say, besides of these fermentation performance parameters to check, they can always, of course, they can do themselves, the yeast cell count, just to verify, that everything is fine with that particular batch of the yeast. Yeah. And not just the viability, but also the vitability. Like, for example, the methylene blue test, which is, a conventional, method for this purpose.
Part of your role has been to select yeasts, for commercial release, and we've discussed this in other videos where the origin of them, the thought process, but the data sheet and the information sheets that are on the website will give flavour descriptors, will give technical information for you guys at home. If you're watching this, you'll be able to look up and see the flavour profile. We have that described in a format that allows them to see whether that would be suitable for the beer style that they're going to make, whether that be a brand new recipe, whether you're using some of the new Brew series, which is a yeast that's totally bespoke, or the Belgian Trappist yeast is totally bespoke to AEB in terms of, other competitors aren't offering those strains. So for me, what I want to do is give you guys confidence that it's a high quality product. There's a premium service there from ourselves partnering with AEB, that there's follow-up support and technical assistance if they need it. And then I guess, it's looking at the yeast strains that people are using. So a very good example would be, the clean ale yeast. It's the Sierra Nevada original yeast. It's very similar, you could say, to the big brand Fermentus USO5, the Lallemand BRY97. So that should be a very simple swap in terms of it's a clean and neutral ale yeast moving from one, supplier to the other. Would you envisage there's any noticeable difference that someone would see changing from one of those three strains?
No, that's exactly what you say. So it will be very easy to replace the the current yeast, using our yeast in AEB. And for example, as you say, like these very popular strains, like El Chico from Sierra Nevada, or or the British ale yeast, like that one from Whitbread, which also is very versatile. Yeah, there's no problem. And besides of that, we're trying to, we are offering another yeast strains that we trying to make sure that there is not available in the market. So
innovating and leading the way with
exactly. We want to create our own path, and to offer and to bring something new on the table to the brewers, and so they have more tools to explore new flavors, and to get more creative, in their beer styles. Yeah.
So, Andres, tell us why we should try AEB yeast.
Well, as you mentioned, it's like I think it's a very reliable, yeast product, quality-wise, microbiological-wise, and especially I would say we have some very unique strains that AEB have designed, for example, for the low and non-alcoholic beers, and some other, regular brewing yeast strains, as, for instance, the Fermolager Crisp, and I don't know, the Belgian, the Bella B, that will give you, different flavor profiles that you haven't found in dry active form.
From a Geterbrewed point of view, we have been giving out some samples to trusted friends and colleagues in the industry, asking them to trial it, and we will be releasing video content showcasing those case studies. We'll be preparing white papers, some big names in the brewing industry, and it's been exceptionally well received so far, so I'm excited to get that information out there and see it grow. In terms of homebrew community, obviously our followers are commercial brewers and homebrewers. We're going to be releasing all grain ingredient kits using the AEB 11.5 gram sachets so that you guys can get to try them at home. But if you're a commercial brewery in the UK or Ireland, we have large stocks here in Geterbrewed. We have all the technical support and assistance, and we give you great confidence in the fact that these are a premium quality brand, and we look forward to hearing from you, and we look forward to having your feedback on how you find the yeast. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch. Drop us an email or pop a message below, and until next time, happy brewing.